This meeting, we do have a public hearing on our proposed 2019-2020 operating budget. Any delegations, if you could hear any comments, anyone have anything there, we'll have some things to say, but someone out there, I saw Mr. Hanna, you were on the list there, you'd like to speak?
Yes, thank you. Not sure where the budget is right now. I guess we'll hear in a few minutes how it's going. But I just wanted to, hopefully if you're working on our suggested for the state 5%, and keep in mind those people that may not get that, people at the top of the scale in the first 5 years, teachers, keep them in your mind, and what you can do with health insurance. Understand that's going up, and so anything you do for us, we certainly would appreciate it.
Okay, we'll do our very best. Okay, thanks. Okay, on the budget, and the first thing I would like to say about the budget is we are required to have our budget in place and presented to the city by the end of this month. We have a balanced budget to present to the city. However, the city has not given us a number on their funding. It seems they have a pretty tremendous amount of expenses coming up. They feel real concerned about what they're going to be able to do to help us. So as our folks have diligently worked to put a balanced budget together with several of the needed things off of wish list and just need list that we've included in the budget, the sad thing is that next week or week after or sometime, I don't want to say start over, but we're going to have to start working all over again, depending on what the city does. So, we've picked a number based on some previous funding from the city. It may not be likely that we're going to get those numbers. So as hard as our folks have worked to put this budget together, we're going to have to put a whole lot more work in it after we get a number from the city, and we're not sure yet when that may be. They have a meeting tomorrow night, but they haven't told us yet when they'll be able to give us a number, because they have a lot of expenses they're looking at, from bridge work to road work to a lot of infrastructure, a lot of things that they're working on, and I've been told that a lot of departments are being cut. Again, I don't look at the school system as being a department, but we are a part of the financing from the city, so we'll have to wait and see. We're very fortunate with ADM, some additional monies coming in from the state, that there is some help there. But before our budget can be final, before we can make any promises on what we can do, we've got to get a number from the city. So, does anybody else have any comments or questions out there? Okay. The one thing I would like to say that has come up, to avoid this, we've had conversation with the city again and putting a plan together on a percentage, a revenue-based percentage, that we would know our numbers early on. We had worked on that agreement before and it didn't totally work out, but we are hopefully working on a plan that in the future that we would know in advance what our numbers are, so that at this point in the year we could come in with a budget knowing what the city was going to provide for us. Okay.
And they've been really good about, they're on the same page as we are in regards to trying to get that information early enough so that it's easier for everybody involved, to lessen the impact the later it gets in that time frame. So they're on the same page as we are. They want to have that information out as quickly as possible as well, but they're budgeting for multiple departments in the entire city, and things arise just like they do in the school system. So we're understanding with them just as much as they are with us. So,
and we hope to build that relationship with the city, so that we can have those conversations. And I know that we're unable to do the April 2nd proposed meeting, but I did meet with Mr. Goodman this afternoon. He suggested that we consider their May work session, which I believe is May the 7th. as meeting with them, so I'm going to propose that to everyone to look at their calendars. And of course, I know we have 2 members not present, but possibly May 7th as a work session with City Council at their Tuesday night work session as one proposal to start those conversations, to talk about how we can work together, how we can move forward, what we can do together to consider their needs and consider our needs. And I think the March meeting was a good first step, but I think we need to have more regular meetings with them, and I'd like that to be considered as our next meeting date with them. So,
Okay, and at this point, we do have 2 members that are on the way that got stuck that are coming late.
Miss Preston just came in the back door. I think she's getting ready to come in.
Okay, we'll have one here soon. Anybody else have any questions, comments, anything about the budget?
I don't know if you want to close it or wait till Miss Preston gets in here and then close the budget public hearing.
Well, let's say we're closing public hearing. We can move on for discussion and we can bring budget back up with everyone here. Just, there's not a whole lot of work for us to do tonight on it with the budget. We got to wait and see. So we can have some discussion with everybody here that everybody's on the same level with that.
Mr. Clemons,
Yes.
got a quick question. What is the final figure in your balanced budget before you have to work on it again? What was the final figure that you had set for your budget?
It's 12,311,000. 12,311,072.
Thank you.
We have one more.
So if you give them the package here.
The blue one?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Tamla, we've just briefly talked about the budget. We heard from Mr. Hanna expressing the needs of the teachers. We are still at this point waiting on a number from the city, and our folks have put together a balanced budget to present to the city for now, but to get into in-depth discussion and work on that budget, we need to wait and see where the city is. There may be a minimal cut, or there may be a huge cut from the city, and you know, we can always handle the minimal cuts, but we just have to see what's going on. So, you know, I would hope put a plan in place for maybe a budget, at least a possibility of a meeting next week.
Well, there's one actually Thursday night. We have to approve the final budget Thursday night
Right.
because I have to get it to the city by April 1. So Thursday night, we already have a scheduled meeting. I'm not sure if it's 6 or 6:30 to approve the budget that you see in front of you. It is a proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 budget.
6 o'clock meeting.
6 o'clock meeting Thursday night. As Mr. Johnson asked, it is a total budget for $12,311,72. It includes $11,740,229 for operations, $501,936 for the cafeteria fund, and $68,907 for textbook. It is a 6.7 increase over the current year. It is based on an average daily membership of 975. We have 988 right now sitting in our schools. It will require a local appropriation of $3,734,136 on this proposed budget. It does include some things, but remember everyone, this is a proposal. And it's important to know that these things are in there, but that doesn't mean it I hope and pray it will happen. It does not mean it might happen. So, and I have to be cautious about what I say because I want the best for everyone. But I don't want people to be upset if it doesn't happen. So here comes Ms. Hunter. So everybody's here now.
Well, much like last year, we had presented
A budget.
a number, and because of things that were going on at the time within the city, we had to go back to the drawing board and do more work. So
Multiple times.
hopefully we don't have to put that much more work into it this time, but I think we've done a lot of work thus far. So those areas, I think if we needed to adjust, we would know where we could go to do that.
So real quick, Erica, bringing up, we have a balanced budget to present, but we don't have a number from the city yet. So we do have potentially some work to do on the budget after we have that number. But right now, we do have something we can go over Thursday night with a vote to present to the city. And we may hear something different from them between now and then. It would make some difference.
So the documents in front of you, it did take everyone's, the school divisions, the schools wish list. It took things from the CEA. It put them all together in what I hope is the balanced budget that will be the one that we'll be able to use. And it does include some positive things for everyone. And I'd like to talk about them tonight and then let you all think about them over the next 2 days. So here goes. And remember, this is proposed, and we may have to come back and do something different. It does include the special education regional tuition funds in the amount of $126,342, and it could be used to hire a special ed teacher at Jeter Watson and fill the vacant paraprofessional position at CHS. Some of the increased funding from the ADM increase could be used, proposed use for a full-time career and technical ed teacher that's shared by CHS and Jeter Watson. 2 elementary teachers at Edgemont Primary School and increasing the part-time guidance position at Edgemont to full-time. It does include funding for a full-time literacy coach for the division. It does include 3 full-time nurse positions, 1 for each school. The 2 current positions will be increased to full-time and 1 new position added. The pay scale for nurses has been increased. It does include step increases for all eligible licensed and classified staff. On Thursday night, you've seen this document before. We have based the salary for the staff for 1920 on the new extended proposed classified staff scales, going from 15 years in some cases to 30 years to give staff raises. That's in there. And also in the proposed budget is a request that the healthcare cost increase of 5.9% be absorbed by the school board. Now, all of this is proposed. I do not know if it can happen. I hope it can. It's our wish for it to happen, but we don't know where the city will go for that. We also have increased enrollment at JRTC, which is a good thing, so that includes a appropriation increase to JRTC's budget of $14,384, and there is a small contingency fund that can be used for things that aren't in this budget. So Rebecca spent a lot of time taking everybody's wish list and my wish list and our health insurance increase and doing things for our classified folks. Licensed personnel who are not at the top or the bottom of the scale are getting steps, which we started that process last year. But again, this is a very, very basic proposed budget that may have to be tweaked multiple times.